Hello, I'm Keith Olson with the Schmidt Music Trombone Shop, back with another instrument review for you. So, I've talked in the past about some of Jupiter's offerings in their trombones, in their intermediate lines, and with their EXO Brass Professional line as well. So, I have another one of the Jupiter intermediate trombones here today. Specifically, this is the JTB1100F. So, this is their medium bore 525 model here, with F attachment, obviously. And so, I'm going to take a play on this so you can hear it in action, and then we're going to talk about it afterward. Today I'm going to be playing all of this on a small Shank box 6.5 AL. So, the Jupiter JTB1100F is again one of Jupiter's intermediate line of trombones, designed with that growing student in mind. I've talked in the past about the 1150F, which is the 547 model. This again is the 525 model here. So, right off the bat, it's going to have a lot of the same features we're going to see from a lot of other, medium bore tenor trombones with F attachment. We've got 8.5-inch bell, yellow brass all the way through, reverse tuning slide, a closed wrap on the F attachment, small shank receiver as is usual with the medium bore tenors, just like with the 1150F. All nickel silver outer hand slide and crook as well here. So as far as ergonomics go, again, this is extremely similar to the 1150F. It definitely is built with a smaller hand in mind, which, given the customer that this is based towards, that younger student, for us in the shop, when I have especially young students who are leaning towards a medium bore tenor versus a large bore, they're usually pretty young, 6th grade, 7th grade, maybe a small 8th grader. And so thinking about some of those ergonomics, making sure that where the paddle placement is, where we have the bracing happening here, this is a good thing. I always appreciate the thoughtfulness that Jupiter puts into all of that. Now again, we have the closed wrap here, and there are some different opinions, to this day about open wrap versus closed wrap. Where we see closed wrap most often nowadays is on the instruments built with that younger player in mind, whether it's from Jupiter or Getson or Kahn or Yamaha, etc. There is really something to that for that younger player who maybe is not ready to fill up a 547 bore horn and is learning how to access that lower register, having a little bit extra resistance to push against to get that trigger register to respond can actually be a really, really good thing. So I appreciate that we've included all of this. You know, one of the things I really liked about the 1150 is that it felt really accessible, it felt comfortable. You know, of course, it's going to have a different kind of timbre than a more advanced instrument. You know, you're not going to get the same depth and nuance out of it. It's not going to have the same kind of complexity here. But I really appreciate everything the 1150 brought to the table here. The 1100, in comparison, just feels small. Now, part of what we can say is like, well, obviously, it's going to feel a little bit smaller. It's a smaller bore there. But even in comparison with some other, you know, medium bore tenors, it feels a little bit tight. Now, is that necessarily a good thing or bad thing? It's neither. I think it's very, very person appropriate. So this would be an instrument where I could see, you know, having a young student. I mean, you know, honestly, a 5th grader or 6th grader, maybe they've been playing a year or two, things are going really well. They want to have an F attachment to start working with, you know, right away, and a little more advanced instrument, you know, designed for a growing student. But they're just either not physically ready, they don't have the armature strength, they don't have the lung capacity to fill up that next level of larger instrument. I think this is going to make a lot of sense. Like I mentioned, in the shop in general, when we see folks leaning towards those medium bores, it tends to be either, you know, quite young students or you know, older players for a number of different reasons, whether they're doing, you know, a lot of like pit orchestra work or stuff like that, or an older player who doesn't want to have to work so hard on their large bore tenor. There's, you know, so it's kind of two ends of the equation with all of this. Very often what I find is with our growing young players, even if they're on a medium bore tenor, something like this, and it doesn't matter the level. We can be talking about something like the Jupiter or you know, an intermediate offering from Yamaha or Eastman, or even talking something like a Bach 36, something like that. Depending on their progression, assuming that they are actually going to be doing, you know, kind of the general do-it-all kind of playing where they're developing their classical skills, almost invariably at a certain point through, especially during their high school career, they're probably going to outgrow that medium bore instrument. And so that's a conversation, you know, we will have about, well, this makes, you know, a lot of sense for the next stepping stone here, but there's a good chance you may need something else down the road. I think this very much falls into that progression. I think, you know, and of course these are, you know, really great price for the instrument that you get. I would consider this a stepping stone instrument for somebody who says, boy, I really want to move into that next, you know, my next level, you know, I'm really excited about playing trombone, or I'm a parent and my student's really excited about playing trombone. We need something, but they're just not ready for that large bore. Something like this is going to be a great fit, but I would know at the same time, there's a good chance that you may need to move into something else down the road. And, you know, given how it plays, if you were somebody who said, you know, I'm looking for a medium bore tenor for pit work or for other reasons, there are other options out there I might lean towards with that. I think this is geared with a particular segment of customer, a player in mind, which is great. That is just fine. So I hope you enjoyed learning more about the JTB1100F here. I enjoyed the chance to talk about it here today. So again, as always, if you had any thoughts about what you heard with the instrument, any questions about this, or anything else I can help with, please leave those comments below. If you liked the video, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to our channel, clicking that notification button so you can see when we have more videos coming out. We're always trying to create new, fresh content that is hopefully going to be interesting for you, and you can always find us on Facebook and Instagram. So thanks as always for watching.